What? No. No, Tom, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. No, you sound like a drunk baby. The Lost World better than Jurassic World? Are you insane? It's the worst of the franchise. No, I don't want to hear your excuses. No. I can't deal with you anymore. No, on anything. On this, no. No, don't bother coming around. Oh, you're not going to come around. Oh yeah, big whoop. I'll replace you. I couldn't replace you. Are you kidding me? Wouldn't take anyone. Yeah, of course I could. Yeah, of course I could find someone. Yeah. Oh, all right. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yeah. Bye. No worries. I'll find someone. Easily. Someone this week. To do the plan. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Oh yeah. You're irreplaceable. Welcome, Strategy Battle Ghost, to our GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host, GBHL Damian.
And Emma!
Hey, and we are here with episode 41 of The Palantir. Oh yes. Oh yes.
Yep.
Oh yes.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
And yeah, you have Emma here because Tom couldn't quite make it because, quite frankly, you can't get the staff these days. Staff. You can't get the staff.
Right.
Yeah? Cool. I think, talking of staff, I was wondering, Emma, if you wanted to borrow Stride and Wolfsbane. You just want to borrow him for the weekend? So you could...
Okay.
Yeah? But I got to tell you, once you've borrowed him, I am done lending you stuff.
Okay, then have it back. I didn't really want it anyway.
Oh, I'm done lending. He's a done lending.
Okay, well, I've given it back to you now, baby.
You're not meant to give it. You're not meant to give it.
I've given it back to you.
You're not meant to give it back. You're meant to have the music.
You don't have to lend it to me.
Get out.
What?
Get out.
Before I was bringing the blood.
No. Get out.
Okay.
Hello? Yep. Hi. I'm sorry. Well, I'm sorry. Please come back. Please. Yeah. I may have made a mistake. Welcome, Strategy Battle Games, to our GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host, GBHL Damian.
And GBHL Tom.
And we are here with episode 41 of The Palantir. Oh yes.
Oh yes.
Oh yes.
We're back.
We're back. Again.
Yeah.
First Palantir 2 weeks in a row in some time.
Yeah.
So whoop whoop, we made it and so forth. I thought I'd shave and wear a t-shirt to celebrate. Indeed. So here we are, and as ever on the Palantir, everything we're about to say is only our own views and opinions, and does not represent the views of the GBHL podcast, the Great British Rugby League, or any other organisation such as the organisers of the Rugby World Cup.
Ah,
Topical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are in the land of rugby.
We are in the land of rugby.
Getting a lot of
Twickenham.
crashing.
We are. That Emma's making too much noise making us dinner. Gonna have to go down there and sort her out.
I'll just shut the door.
One of the two. So you alright?
Yeah.
Good.
Are you genuinely asking how I am?
It wasn't a lie. But generally, you push forward the episode, you see.
Okay,
And
yeah.
you're just sitting there.
Yeah.
So you alright?
Yeah.
Good. That's it.
Tito's?
Tito's is where we normally start.
Yeah, so it was Devin last time.
It was. And who did he pass it on to?
He's passed it on to DCHL Walker.
Walker. Going around the houses. Fair enough. There you go, sir. Walker, here's to you. Have a cup of tea.
Or coffee or whatever you have in
Probably
America.
coffee. Yeah. I was quite pleased to see that when we were out there, we did get tea in the mornings.
Mm.
Like they did provide us with tea and milk rather than cream and stuff.
I've lost my comment review in the
Right in
process
front
of
of
getting
your
that. But David Whittaker, that reminded me, asked whether we brought our own tea bags to America.
We didn't have to because we were in a swanky hotel. And I was like, "Can I have a pot of tea?" And they're like, "Yes, you can." It wasn't as good as over here, not gonna lie, but it was alright.
Yeah.
Don't know what tea bags are.
So what did we talk about last week, Damian?
Last week we talked about the Nova Open.
We did quite a lot.
And our experiences in America, and we also talked about whether or not you should watch the Lord of the Rings or the Hobbit trilogy first. A topical note about that, it's now under a month until the extended edition's out.
Yeah.
And it comes out on iTunes on the 20th.
Yeah, and it's 17th of... Oh, someone said it was... I'm going to have to look on my comment review. There we go. Knowlesy said that the extended collector's edition is out on the 17th of November in the US.
Yeah, that's the physical release.
Yeah, with the statue.
Yeah.
Of Gandalf and Bilbo.
That we don't get.
No.
We got one for Lord of the Rings. I don't know why we didn't get one for the Hobbit.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate. I would have. I like the one. I would have got the Erebor statues one.
Mm.
I wasn't too keen. I wasn't too fussed about the Bilbo and Gollum, and even the Bilbo and Gandalf. But I definitely would have got the Erebor statues. But oh well, the DVD not taken.
They should have made these as prizes at Nova or something.
Yeah, that would have been good. Yeah. You got your prize yet?
No,
Is it coming?
it is coming.
Oh,
It
the
is coming.
staff, you see.
Yeah, we'll have to have an episode in the land of Bista when that arrives. So yeah, we talked about Nova. There were quite a few comments on Nova stuff. So we talked about whether it's called a Heroic Combat or Fight in the US.
Mm-hmm.
We had a few replies on that. Patrick Buermeyer said it's definitely called Heroic Combat's in the rules.
Okay.
The printings are the same for both in his book anyways, because things like armour are still spelled the UK way.
You'd like to hear it.
The correct way. Sorry. And Clint Whitney said everyone in his group calls it Heroic Combat.
So why do they call it Heroic Fight then? So it's just a colloquialism.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And in Canada it's combat as well. That's what they call it.
Cool. Thanks for that.
So thanks guys for replying. That was HUZAAH who said the Canada thing. Lots of people thought Chaos Nada was really cool.
It was.
Or
You're right.
the idea of Chaos Nada.
Except Jamie.
And lots of them saw similarities to there's a 40k game and
Yeah, it was based on 40k.
and
That's
there was a
right.
Warhammer Treacheries thing or something.
Triumph and Treachery.
That
That supplement.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone said it sounded like a combination of
Mm.
Triumph and Treachery, which is a team. It was like multiplayer Warhammer
Yeah.
for making alliances and stuff, and then the 40k objective game.
So yeah, it is pretty cool. And hopefully sometime in the distant, or not too distant future, we'll do something on the channel with regards to that.
Yeah, it would take a long time.
Yeah.
It'd be a huge. The game took 3 hours, so it would be a very long video.
Yeah. Unless you did it on a tiny table with smaller points.
I suppose could do.
That's one way you could do it. And then a few of the people from Nova said hello. So Jeremy Smith said that he experienced your army first game at Nova, and he said that he wouldn't call it ultimately cheesy.
Oh, thank you very much.
Because I think we've been discussing it, but he says he's calling you out next time.
Oh, well,
I think for revenge.
Yeah, fair
Revenge,
enough.
yeah.
We'll see you there.
He also said, "P.S. Next time, bring Freddos." We did forget to bring
But I don't think
Freddos.
we're allowed. We're not allowed
Yeah,
to, are we?
we're not to
We're
bring
not allowed to bring them
shop.
to the country.
Yeah.
We'll sneak them in.
Um,
Any US government officials watching this, that was a joke. I do monitor some of this stuff. You know, I'll tell you this about my student. This was about 7 years ago now. He said he was going on holiday to the US and he put a Facebook status, something like, in some young person colloquial language, saying, "I am going to blow up the US." Or like, and he got stopped at customs.
Yeah.
When he got there,
Because of his
they
face.
stopped him and they'd seen it. It had somehow been flagged, and he got stopped and kind of questioned about it. That's scary. It was that I can't know, whatever it was, blow up or explode or something like that. But about it's like, because that's what a terrorist would do.
Yeah, right. On the
That's
Facebook.
what us feeling excited. Yeah. So yeah, but I somehow doubt the CIA are monitoring the Palantir.
Yes.
Maybe they're just watching it as a fan though.
Yeah,
Could
maybe,
happen.
maybe. And Matt formerly Lord of the Brown Ring, said he was telling everyone in Chicago, that nearly went wrong, Chicago, to come to Nova next year.
Yeah.
Said that we are very fine gentlemen.
Oh, we
So
are.
thank you very much.
Thanks. Not James and Jamie though.
No.
Thanks very much, man. Appreciate that. It's very nice to meet you.
He also said have a good week.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I did. Oh, I had a very busy week. Oh,
Yeah.
been awful.
It's been sad going back to work after
It's been awful, yeah, horrible.
It's been really, really sad.
It's the start of a semester for me, so it's been incredibly hectic.
Mm. I mean, this is compared to the like 6 months of time where he's just on holiday.
Tom, it's 3 months. Come on now. Let's not exaggerate.
And there was also some chatter from some Germans, some of the Germans.
Some Germans.
Just some random Germans, no.
You've got a bullet point that just says Germans.
Exclamation mark.
Yeah, Germans!
It's to remind me to talk about
Talk about the Germans.
Kuada said that a few of those on the German circuit, or I don't know exactly, had said
The
that
Nürburgring.
that
was good.
or Hockenheim.
Sketch.
Can you get a third German circuit?
I'm done.
I'm done. Anyway, so I got lost track. Oh yeah, they'd seen our armies from Nova, and obviously we'd come first, second, third, and fifth with Jamie. And some of them had commented that they didn't see them as that good and would beat them, or would smash us. I guess that's kind of fighting talk.
To smash it.
Yeah, but Quidder didn't really agree, and Ollie from HTL has also come on and said, "Don't listen to those crazy Germans."
That's interesting.
Yeah.
So they're obviously... Was there something about low model counts?
Mm.
That was a point in it,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
I think some didn't understand your one for the small model count, and they wondered why Lurtz was there.
Because he's not nearly as bad as everyone says.
Yeah. And the fact that you don't have Warg Riders, Pikes.
Sorry,
And
okay.
then, yeah.
I don't have...
Pikes on the crossbowmen, that is.
Yeah, I don't have Warg Riders because I don't think they bring anything to that army in the way I play it. Maybe for recon they could be handy, I suppose. Pikes on the crossbows I could do.
You just haven't wanted to mess up your model.
Yeah, you could drop a model and put a pike on every crossbowman, and that would make them better. I agree, but I've got pikemen, I've got crossbowmen, and I've never felt that need to enhance the army to that point. I think you could do something cool by just you wouldn't put pikes on your crossbowmen, you put crossbowmen on your pikes.
Crossbowmen on your pikes.
Crossbowmen
like
on You'd put you'd get little crossbows, like from some third party, and put them on the backs of the pike.
Yeah.
That'd look cool.
Yeah.
And yeah, that would make it better. Lurtz, I presume you'd rather have Malha or Ugluk, I'm guessing. And Ugluk doesn't work in my army at all because I've got Fury and I've got 12-inch standfast with Saruman and I've got expensive models that I don't want to kill. And so Lurtz wins it over him, and for me, Lurtz wins it over Malha because I've always valued the might point more than the
And
attack.
that's the same reason as why you don't have another captain type.
Yes, although I did take captains to the tournament this weekend.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to hear you say that. Like, maybe you would smash us. We've never played any of you, but I think we're all good players. We know what we're doing with the army, and I don't know. Those armies work. If you're worried about my low model count, you probably haven't faced an army full of berserkers and ferals.
Yeah.
I would guess.
I mean, it is vulnerable at recon especially, and the hold ground style, high ground style games.
Yes, yeah.
But
25% games are my friend.
yeah,
Anything that ends at 25%, anything that ends at breaking for objectives is a bit harder.
yeah.
But I've done, it's not a one-off. It's an army. It's the same as the Wood Elf armies we're talking about. They're armies that have performed well at multiple tournaments.
Yeah.
And you might well win. You might well beat us in some games, but I doubt all four of us would get smashed.
Yeah.
If I'm being entirely honest. But maybe we'll see at some point.
But I think some of them were just interested in seeing the differences in the play style. I guess like we were.
Yeah.
And the armies at a tournament in general. So I guess for that you'd really have to come to the UK and see what everybody's style of army was, as opposed to just us few. But yeah. So yeah, cool stuff on the Nova. Trivia section.
Trivia section.
What did you ask last week, Damian?
Last week I asked what the total number of victory points scored by the four of us at the Nova Open was.
Yes.
Do
you need a hand?
I give an answer first? Or
Well, I'm
would
just
you
going
have
to
your
say
normal
that
levels of hilarity.
I've got semi-hilarity for this one, more hilarity for my question.
You've got what?
Did you like the words? So Andreas the Norwegian Viking was probably the closest. He went for 1 million points.
1 million points?
Yeah.
Out of 200?
Yeah.
That's pretty...
We did very well.
We did very well.
Just bonus points all around. No, actually some people did get it right, but let's go through the scores then. So Jamie got...
35?
Yes.
Yeah.
James got...
37?
You got...
42?
And I got...
49.
Which makes...
150, so actually 161 and 263?
163, yeah.
Hey! Smashed it.
So yeah, and we got some correct answers. So well done to David Reed,
Wait,
Michael
David
Bowden.
Reed. Not a fan of him at the moment.
Michael Bowden.
3 highest.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a sec. Magnus Benger and Scott McLeod.
Hey!
And one more,
Oh?
J22,
Hey!
who messed up our scores, as in got the individual scores wrong, added them up and it came to 163. So outstanding work, J22.
Yeah, get this right without getting it right.
Yeah, all 5 of you have the right to get a Freddo, or however
I believe they've won the chance.
Yeah,
That's it.
Yeah.
They've won the chance to buy a Freddo. Congratulations, sirs.
Congratulations. I was surprised that Acton and Larry didn't get those correct. Acton got your score wrong. He got everyone else's right.
I think a fair few people gave me more points than I got.
Yeah.
I think they thought we were closer together.
Yeah.
That seems to be the trend.
It's not good enough.
42. Dropped 5 at the whole ground one and dropped 3 to the death. Second to the death.
Yeah. Cool. And my trivia question was, who was Samson Gamgee? Not Samsung Gamgee, as some of you may have heard me say.
Makes phones, right?
Yeah, so we had quite a few funny answers for this one. I think because of the Samsung one good riddance went for Samson Gamgee was the inventor of the mobile Palantir, an invention that significantly altered the Hobbit's way of life, some argue for the worse.
It's clever.
Yeah, it's good.
That's good. Oh, yeah. Social satire there.
Yeah. Acthon 39 went for Samson Gamgee is Tom's attempts of Ian McKellen doing a Samwise Gamgee impression.
Good, strong.
I think those are all my funny ones actually. So the actual answer is that he was a famous surgeon who worked at a Birmingham hospital, hence why there was the Tolkien link.
And Tolkien, the inference is obviously that Tolkien knew him, or knew of him.
His nana's house was on that road, was across the road from this one.
Cool.
And 2 of you got this correct. Lots of you went for Tolkien's gardener or an inventor of something like a windmill or pipeweed or something hobbity.
An inventor of a windmill.
Of the windmill.
The windmill.
I think that was David Whitty. But yeah, 2 of you got it correct. J22, who gets bonus Freddo.
Bonus Freddo?
It does help if you're a biomedical student at university, I guess.
What, a Freddo?
Yeah, the Freddo's help.
Freddo already get you through.
Yeah, they'll get you through that. And Wobchicker, who said GCSE Science for the win.
Outstanding.
So yeah, well
you got
done.
education paying off there.
Yeah, I didn't expect people to get that, but well done to you two. And J22, very well done on your bonus Freddo.
He's won the chance to buy a bonus Freddo.
Yeah.
Jay, photo on the group of you gorging
Facebook.
yourself on 3 Freddos, please.
Yeah, Josh Triffitt, you got you got it last time. You got the recognition last time, but there was no photo. You can't get a bonus Freddo and not put a photo on the Great British Hobbit League Facebook.
Sometimes I wonder if you guys think it's easy for us to just give out chances to go and buy a Freddo.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't come easy. It's not cheap for us.
No.
You know, we have to plan these things and talk to the shops in advance.
So anyway, that was this week's
Trivia section.
Saw the Freddo in good face. Okay, so this week's trivia.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a question, Dave?
I do.
Good.
My question is related to something that we're going to talk about in a bit, which is Legions of Middle-earth.
Mm-hmm.
And in Appendix 1, I believe it is, of Legions of Middle-earth.
Yeah.
Why is that funny?
Just it's already sounding like a disastrous question.
Do you know what Appendix 1 of Legions of Middle-earth is?
No.
It's the terrain generator
Oh,
charts.
nice.
Thanks. So you could. It was charts that you rolled on to generate terrains playing different parts of Middle Earth. And my question for you is,
It's like, what do you get on a roll of it?
how do you spell terrain?
Yeah.
No, my question is, how many different charts were there? So how many different realms essentially could you play, and how many themed boards were there in the Legions of Middle Earth book?
4x4 realm, 6x4 realm,
Yeah.
2x2 realm.
Just put it in the comments.
Okay.
Then you can read it as a funny one next week. Tom Harrison says this is particularly funny. So yes, there you go. There's my trivia question.
That's not my inner monologue voice.
I've done your inner monologue at
Yeah.
some point, haven't I?
Yeah.
What was that one? Some sketch on there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a sketch.
What was that for?
That was
Why
me
did I-
poking myself in the eye.
Oh yeah, that one. Was he a red like this? He sounded like. Yeah, that was it. It was when you forgot a trivia question.
Yeah.
That was it.
Trying to distract
Maybe
you.
if I poked my... He sounded a bit like Mickey Mouse, but that was it. Maybe if I poked myself in the eye. And then pitched up 3 levels, I think.
Yeah.
That's what he sounds like.
Anyway, so yeah, that's your question. Very good question.
Thanks. Yours?
My question is, in The Lord of the Rings, in The Return of the King, you see a vision from Arwen seeing her son with Aragorn if she sticks around. And my question is, whose son in real life is that?
Oh.
So it's a person's son.
It's a person's son.
Yeah, as opposed to
A rock.
an alien's son.
An alien son.
Alright.
It's because of
Silent.
anti-alien sentiment like that we
Yeah.
can't all get along. They are real people. Ah, that's a good question. So there you go. That is this week's trivia section.
Very good.
Dance is new.
Yeah. Well, you
Act
usually
on,
do
hope
the
you're making
dance.
note of that.
You usually do the dance.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just checking if I missed anything out. I don't think so. Okay, so we did kind of the news on the extended edition. That's what we've really got. There was one random comment from last week, which is from Max Robinson, who says, quick question for Tom. Do you have any tips or advice for someone who's going to be starting a geology degree at university next week? Anything in particular I need?
Rocks.
Rocks. Colouring pencils.
Geology rocks. It's a pun!
I don't know. Where are you starting university?
It's not there.
Well, he's listening. I know I'm not going to get instant feedback, but that's just like normal conversation.
This is what's going to happen.
I ask
like,
people
now
questions,
every
yeah.
week you're going to ask a question to him, he's going to respond, then you're going to give him the answer to his question in about 6 months' time.
That's how it used to work with letters.
It is.
Before the internet.
This is, the Palantir letter edition. Which would have been awful.
Posting. Yeah, I don't know. For geology at Freshers, are you going on a trip soon? We went on a field trip pretty soon after starting. We went to Wales, Pembrokeshire.
I'm sorry.
Had to look at some rocks. It's very exciting.
Yeah. How's it?
Yeah.
You didn't go on
Can you name a rock, Damian?
Igneous.
Okay, yeah. Now more specific rather than a group of rocks.
Brighton.
Good. Strong. Any other types of rock that springs to mind?
Sedimentary.
Yeah, that's in the same...
I know. Metamorphic.
Yeah, right,
Yeah.
good. We've got the 3 types now.
It's not bad.
Yes, no, it's not bad.
What kind of rock are you after?
I don't know, like, actually a specific rock. Rather than naming, like,
that one?
Triassic, Jurassic,
Alcatraz.
Cretaceous.
Alternative. Didn't we do this at some point with visual puns? I've sent you. You've been asking about a rock, and I've sent you images of Alcatraz in the past.
Brilliant. Yeah, you have.
For some reason. What I'm saying is, I think I've named a lot of rocks, and you haven't named any. So,
You win.
well, all I'm saying to this guy is maybe you're not the actual rock expert you think you are. A type of what, like limestone?
Yeah, there you go.
that's what
That is
I'm
a type of rock.
Right. Okay.
Well
yeah.
done.
Got you.
Bonus points if you can get if it's igneous, metamorphic, or sedimentary, Damian.
It is.
Yes, correct. Bonus
point.
Dear.
It would be a guess, so it's not worth risking the first point.
Okay, yeah.
Just take the bonus point on
Yeah.
the pedantic.
Yeah, because
Wolves
you're not very good with look, are you? Segue.
There's nothing smoother than a segue where you say segue.
Yeah, I know.
To point out
Well,
changing topic.
Do you know what?
Is that the end of your advice on
Yeah,
geology degrees?
I mean, if you want actual advice, you can contact me at sbgmagazine@gmail.com and I can give you a proper response. But I think for the millions who are on the show watching, otherwise,
There might be other people interested.
I mean, yeah, but James goes on about fitness and no one's interested in fitness. Nobody. Jamie goes on about Lego. People are interested in Lego.
Where do you think rocks come on the fitness Lego and presumably Jurassic Park?
I think the rocks come where they are in real life, beneath the ground, miles down.
I think we'll probably go Lego, Jurassic Park, fitness, rocks. Do you think?
Yeah.
And on things that you don't care about that we talk about.
Yeah. It's probably true.
Comment below.
Yeah. Order the 4 things. Because Jurassic World Jurassic Park.
Jurassic World's like
is mentioned mentioned a lot of times by this one. As we'll
That's out in
get on
DVD in
to.
like about 3 weeks.
Alright, was
What's
that
that?
more news? So yeah. So yeah, the segue, the reason I got to that is because I was saying you'd have a 1 in 3 chance on the bonus, and the number 3 sprung to mind. So why is number 3 important, Damian?
It's just to rub my face in.
Yeah. You should tell the viewers now we've...
I went to a tournament, a fantastic tournament this weekend, because Tom wasn't there.
Hey.
It was really good. It was at Slow Gaming. The Crisis in Longbottom was awesome fun. Really, really loved it. Apart from the journey there, which took 4.5 hours and nearly killed me.
You were the Crisis in Longbottom.
I was the Crisis in Longbottom. I was a wreck.
Oh, was the journey that long?
It should take 2.5 hours. It took me 4.5 hours. It was horrendous.
Because if I hadn't been there, it'd have flown by.
It would. It was the only time I've ever driven. We generally always go up north with someone. And it's the only time I've ever driven alone. And I thought, no, it's alright, it's only Mansfield, it's not too far. I was a mess. I was absolutely. I've done like a tournament review for it, but like Jamie said, I didn't look right until we went straight to this Chinese, and I sat down and I got a beer and I drank. And I went, yeah, you didn't look right until you had a drink, and then he went, it's kind of a worrying sign, isn't it? But yeah. Anyway, that will be the tournament review. But as all this, I was playing Mr. David Reed, who's a lovely, lovely man. And I had his Felby strapped, and he had no might, and he rolled a 4 highest on his 2 dice.
And how many dice do you have to get a 5? You need a 5.
No, I've tied his fight value. Vraski's in there. I had 9 dice.
Needing a 4 to tie, 5 to win outright with 9 dice.
And kill his Felbeast almost certainly.
And was that his leader?
Yeah, Knight of Unbound Felbeast.
Okay.
18 strikes at him.
Yeah, that'll do it with strength 4.
Yeah, some of them fainting. Oh, I feel sick.
9 dice. What did you get highest?
9 dice, 3 highest.
3 highest.
3 highest. 9 dice.
3
9
highest.
dice. 3 highest. 3 highest. 9 dice. I felt sick. I felt like someone had hit me in the stomach.
And that's 1 ring dice.
Yeah, cheaty 1 ring dice.
Throw them in the bin.
Cheat the wrong way. Yeah.
So you didn't have a banner, did you?
It wouldn't have mattered.
That was a mistake.
I don't think the number
That's a
of
big
dice was the
mistake.
issue. I had enough dice. It was my tactical decision to roll 3 highest. Not even a 4. Not even a roll off.
That's abysmal.
David made a noise like this. It was awful. It was absolutely awful. It was the single worst roll I've ever made in my life.
Yeah.
I think Ed said it was a 1 in 502 chance of it happening. Awful.
There you go.
Cost me the game, though. Absolutely cost me the game.
Yeah, well done.
It was good fun though. I don't want to moan too much about it. I had a really good game against David. It was good.
David always beats you, doesn't he?
Or
draws with
I've
you.
beaten him, and I think we worked out that was our 4th game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's beaten me twice. I've beaten him once. We got a draw. I think, but he's a very good player.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So yeah, that
Very
was
high.
that was the segues
Thanks
to
for that.
Damian's demise.
Appreciate that.
Well, we talked about worst moments in game.
That's mine. That is
now,
it.
That is now your worst.
It's also we might as well talk about this here because I don't know if it will come up anywhere
Mm-hmm.
else. But I'm going to put this marked out as for worst moments in game. That meant I came 4th instead of coming 2nd at that tournament, which has cost me 10 league points.
Yep.
I still have to do well at the league final at Stockport.
Yeah.
But if I finish this league 10 points within 10 of the whoever wins
bit annoyed.
it will be because you could point it on that one event. rolling a 3.
I think David Reed would have beat you anyway.
He might well have done.
No.
But that's the. I now almost don't want to do well at the next thing because it just makes me feel ill.
So yeah, that's the one bit of the news that we have forgotten, and you've just segued right onto it. Tournaments.
So
we finished Mansfield. Congratulations to Mr. Dave Nolan. Well done, sir.
Lost 2 games to first and second place.
Not good enough.
These are chronic spoilers for the tournament review.
Well done, Dave Nolan. He is the first person in 9 attempts for 9 events
Something like that.
to win 2 of the 100-point IE maximum scoring events. So well done to you.
But there are still, I think, something like 6 people in the running.
Yeah,
you know, it could be more than that, but 6 comfortable. There's a sort of, I think there's a it goes from 300. I think Ed's on about 390, and then it goes down to about 365.
Yeah. With
about 6 people, all of whom could improve enough to. There's 3 tournaments left. You know, obviously anyone in the league could win all 3, but there's then a bit of a drop down to about 340 or something. I think. I believe.
Yes, top 6 are kind of all up there, and then David Reed's the drop down in 7th.
On what?
348.8.
So a very, very exciting league because literally with 3 tournaments left, comfortably anyone in the top 6 could win it.
Because I've won an event, a 100-point event, and I'm languishing in 9th, watching over my shoulder for.
I think Jamie would have just soared up, wouldn't he? Because he just got a lot of points.
Jamie's up to 14th. So yeah, for your hosts, Damian's in 5th. I think you dropped a place because Dave Nolan jumped you.
Yeah.
Mr. Giblin is. Oh, I'm 9th. Mr. Giblin is 14th, and James, who has been to 4 events, but one of them is a TO score of 50 out of 100, is in 19th. So all top 20. But yeah, it's been very competitive this year.
Yeah, it's good.
So anyway, in terms of the next events coming up, there are 3.
It's Rodos.
And we've got a new one. Next one is, James's the Redesolation of Stockport 2015.
Which you've probably heard about.
Yes. So we won't go into it too much, but it should be amazing. It should have the record number of people for
It's not next weekend, is it?
No.
No. When is it?
I can't remember when it exactly is.
Is it like, what is it, a month? Is it?
Yeah, about a month.
Oh, okay.
It's in my diary. Search for James's update and he'll tell you everything you need to know. But yeah, that is the next one, and it should be the largest independent one in the UK. Whether it will beat Games Workshop's last event is up for debate.
Yeah.
Then it's the East Grinstead one, which is, as always, sold out.
Yeah.
And we need to sort what we're doing that weekend.
Do we?
Well, I think it's just me and you from around here.
I'm going to the tournament.
I'm going.
Do you want a lift?
Yeah.
Is that what this is?
Yeah.
Right. I was sorted, but...
Good. Maybe we could film some videos. Maybe. And then the newest one onto the list of 3 that we talk about is Cardiff. It's the Strider Cup.
The Strider Cup, of course.
Which is the team-based event. So teams of 4 compete in kind of a Davis Cup style format.
Ryder Cup
style format.
That's right.
Ryder Cup.
That's where it came from, you see.
Yes.
I don't actually know if it is similar. I don't think it is a similar format to Ryder Cup.
It's you do singles and doubles.
It probably
which
is
is more
closer
like
to the Davis Cup. Yeah.
But I like the reference to the joke. It is a very, very, very good name for a tournament.
From
well done,
Larry
Miller.
Larry Miller came up with that.
Of course he did.
That was excellent.
Yeah. But yeah, that should be an excellent event, so get a team together for that.
Get on it. And I think Alistair said even if you don't have a team, you can go to it and you'll be put into a team.
Yeah. So yeah, that's it for the league. So done.
Good stuff.
Done my duty as coordinator. Right, so topics for this week. So we have one from James Stevenage, who's based in Australia, and he says, how did we first get into the hobby? And I can't actually remember, I should have gone through Acton's stuff, which we'll talk about in a minute. I can't actually remember if you talked about this before. We probably have in passing.
I think
you've definitely given the Hobbycraft story.
Yeah, but that's how. Yeah, that's not
But
how.
that's not how you got into the hobby.
Yeah, I was going to say. I think
originally.
at some point, whether it's on a Palantir or something, I've done how I got into the Lord of the Rings.
So,
but not the hobby potentially.
Yeah, go for it then.
I got into the hobby, as in wargaming, around the age of 9 or 10. So this would be.
And if you want to know what he looks like, about 9 or 10. Oh, it's not quite 9 or 10. See issue 1 of SBG, the Doctor's Corner.
I think I'm 11.
Yeah, you're like 11.
Yeah.
He looks very hilarious.
Thank you. So yeah, this would be around 1992, something like that. I got into the.
Do you want me to remind you how old I was in 1992?
8? 2? Something went wrong with my maths there.
And Giblin was 1.
Oh, good.
Just so you know.
Thank you. Why do you look older than me then?
It's the maturity.
So I was it? Did we talk about this? That I was the only one who didn't get ID, in
yeah, that
America.
was hilarious.
They asked for everyone else at the table's ID. Not you, old man. Thank you for that, America. Yeah, I think we read. I must have been 9 or 10. I was at junior school and we read The Hobbit at school, and then one of my kind of family friend, kind of like half family, half friend, it doesn't matter. He was into historical wargaming and was a big Tolkien fan, and he had this huge sort of 15mm historical wargaming layout thing, and I always thought it was cool because they were like toys. And then he said, "Oh, you're reading The Hobbit," and showed me Lord of the Rings. And I remember being at his house reading Fellowship of the Ring at about age 10 or something. And then he started, I think he then started looking. He took me to a wargaming convention where I got some of the boards. No, but I thought it was when the first time I went to Selwig, I texted him to say, "I know this is really random, but 20 years ago you took me to a wargaming convention. Was it at Crystal Palace?" And he said it wasn't. But yeah, and he kind of got me into it, and I think like kind of I remember painting with Humbrol paints, and I got
Best type of paints.
Yeah, 20 years ago. And I got the Advanced Hero Quest starter set. I think that was the first kind of box I got.
Yeah, I think you've talked about that before.
It had the plastic Skaven in it. They were the first models I ever painted, and then I got some of the Hero Quest add-ons, but I didn't know how to play the game. I was just getting the kind of models
You were just
and painting them with him. And then about a year or so after that, I got Warhammer. And as I said, around that time I got that box of Man of War flyers I said in the video.
Yeah.
And I got the 4th edition box set of Warhammer, which had all the high elves and the goblins in. And that was the first thing I sat down properly, read, learned how to play. Found a couple of friends. This was in 1994, so when I was 12. Found a couple of friends at school who were playing it, and started playing Warhammer.
And did you still see these friends?
No, there was a game shop that opened in my town, not a Games Workshop, but that I met 2 people at. They're called Sam and Dan, and then when I knew them for about 8 years or 6 years when I was playing up till I went to uni, and then we lost touch when I went to uni. But I did see them. Hello.
Hello.
Thanks.
Dinner's ready.
Finish this.
Well,
I did see them at a party. I had a party a few years ago, like maybe 4 years ago or something. It's quite a while now, but and they were still living in the area, and I got in touch with them. They both came around, so we had a catch up then.
Oh, did you?
And
did you play war games?
No, it's just it was really cool just to see him. So we're like friends. I'm Sam's not on Facebook, but I'm friends with one of them on Facebook, but we haven't seen each other in a while. But yeah, that's how I got into it.
Cool. And if you want to see Damian banging on about reminiscing about his old wargaming stuff, there's quite a few videos. His Man of War
I talk about the old days
Warhammer,
before everyone was born.
Warhammer glass cake cabinet back at his parents' house.
And after dinner, Tom will tell you how he got into the hobby.
Yeah, but for now, let's eat. And we're back.
And we're back
From dinner.
from dinner, full of dinner.
It was very nice. I hope you all paused and had your dinner too.
Unless you're watching this in the morning or afternoon or evening.
Or at work.
Or at work.
So yes, you've just enlightened us on how you got into the hobby.
I did.
For myself, I was a bit older than Damian.
For the first time.
For the first time. So I didn't start until I was 16. In terms of a modelling background though, I'd been interested in that kind of stuff from earlier. I'd just never done it as a hobby. So I've said before that my dad does model railway, so obviously spent a lot of time with model trains when I was younger, playing with them and not doing any hobbying. But I had been to quite a few conventions on model trains across the country, which was cool. So I've been to conventions.
It's an uncomfortable way to travel.
I was obviously into The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit earlier. The first thing I did actually was listen to the radio edition rather than read the book of The Lord of the Rings. I don't know how old I would have been, 8, 9, when I listened to them. So that's what got me into Lord of the Rings. And then a friend of mine at school was also really into Lord of the Rings and had the figures. So I had played with him, with his figures when I was about 14, 15, and he wanted me to get into them, but I didn't at the time because I didn't do a part-time job or anything.
Where are we in the kind of history of the game? What year are we at?
14, 15, oh, I'm 1990, so just add the years, so it's 2004, 5.
So just after Return of the King and before the Make Blue rulebook.
Yeah, so my friend was playing then. Yeah, because he gave me the Return of the King rulebook to look over. It wasn't the blue rulebook then. And I didn't get into it because I saw it as being an expensive hobby. As in at the time, I got a grand total of £2 pocket money if I did the hoovering of the house.
How often did you hoover?
Every week.
Every week?
For the £2. Or...
Can you just keep hoovering it?
No, that's the week.
Is there a week? Is there a limit?
Yeah. Yeah.
£2 a week?
Yeah. Yeah.
You could save up for a Lake Town guard.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not going to get you much. I mean, it was a lot cheaper back then. But, so yeah, I didn't get into it then.
Could have got 10 Frodos a week though.
But then I was with my friend Christopher, and he got into it, and that was when I was maybe 15. And again, he went in and bought the blue rulebook, so when that came out, that's when he started. So he then bought a ton of figures, and we played loads of games, but none of his models were painted, they were all just built. And we didn't play with the proper rules, we played with some abridged version, where, just to keep it simple, like all heroes wounded on 4s, and all warriors wounded on 5s, just to make it quick, and then you could have bigger scales. That's how we played it. So, and no might, will or fate or anything. We were just messing around. That was really good fun. And so because he had it, I was thinking, you know what, maybe I should get into it. And we went to his brother's birthday party at a laser quest in Carlisle, for which you had to give your own name. And I was Sharp and Chris was Harper, which we were very pleased about because your name came up on the screen. And he won the laser quest. I did not very good at laser quest. Anyway, the story's going on to across the road from the laser quest was the GW in Carlisle, which had a huge ore tank. They had like a huge ore tank, which was awesome. And I went into the shop. Yeah, but that was really cool. So I was like, and then we got involved in a big Last Alliance game where on this day, yeah. Or you know, it was the next day, and because I was staying at their house, they obviously didn't live that close to me. Or it was like the next day, so we went into that shop and we played in this big Last Alliance battle where obviously it was Elrond and Gilgalad and all of them on this board with, I guess, with Orthanc on instead of Mountain Dew, but that was still cool. And there was about 6, 7 people playing, and I remember just you each controlled like a part of the board. So it was a bit chaotic, but it was good fun, and I really enjoyed playing that. And in there, I just saw that they'd released the Mines of Moria box, and I was like, and it was £40 at the time, which seemed like a great deal, because you got the whole fellowship, the scenery, all that kind of stuff. And it was the model prices that had been the inhibiting factor for me previously. And bear in mind, I'm a bit older, I'm 16, so, you know.
£2.50 if you did the hoovering.
Yeah, so I then got home and asked for that for my 16th birthday. Because my dad obviously had all the paints and all the cutting stuff, and I didn't need to buy any of the materials, which was the key thing. And I thought that it would be a good thing for me to do, because A, he could help, because he knows what he's doing, because I guess that's a worry for anyone starting the hobby is what do you do? You know, you're having to cut things out and glue them with super glue, and you've not really done that before properly.
Yeah.
And how do you paint for a start? So I asked for it for my birthday and got it for my birthday, which was really cool. And I thought it'd be something fun that I could do with my dad, because he obviously did a lot of modelling himself.
My dad would never play any games with me because he won't play dice games.
And my dad won't play.
No.
He doesn't care a bit about playing the game, but he appreciates the modelling aspect. I wouldn't say he appreciates it, that it's a nice model that's nicely painted and stuff, but he'd much prefer to have a train. So yeah, I got the Mines of Moria set and painted them up, and I showed them on a previous Palantir when we were in Bicester.
Yeah, when we were in Bicester.
But yeah, my dad helped me to paint them in that he told me what to do, and then he did a wash of dirty turbs, not Agrax, Earthshade, to make them look reasonable. But you can't. Dirty Turks is a terrible idea because in terms of there's no consistency.
Would that translate internationally? Dirty Turks.
Dirty.
Like white spirit.
White spirit.
You used to clean your brushes when you're using enamel paints.
Yeah, it does sound like an insult, doesn't it? Dirty Turks.
Dirty Turks.
So yeah, that's how I got into it. And the first models I got from my birthday of my parents. I got the Mines of Moria box set, and then I asked my nana and granddad, and I got from them Gamling with the Banner on Horse.
On Boromir?
Not on Boromir. And Faramir and Damrod. And a box of Riders of Rohan.
All for the same birthday?
All for the same. They were the starting models. I had Gamling leading the Riders of Rohan. And no, I think I got, with Faramir, I got a set. I had some metal Rangers, but those were the two. And I had no real thinking about I'm going to make an army particularly. It was more, I went on the website at the time, which was awesome because it was the old website, and was going through every figure and I made a huge list of ones that I wanted, and for some reason I really liked the look of Gamling and Faramir, so I said I'll get those. Cool. So that's how I got into the hobby. There you go.
There we go.
Carlisle GW as well. Oh, I think, no, it was after I went to Games Day, maybe I think 2008 or 9 even, so that was a long time after.
You play a game against Ed?
Yes, I played a game against Ed Ball at Games Day. No, he was running the scenario that was, it must have been Warg Attack, but it wasn't quite, because it also had some foot models, and I think it was the refugees having to get away as well in there, and he was running that from his gaming group, and me and Christopher played, and I remember talking to Ed, because you wouldn't forget talking to Ed because he has a very specific way of talking, but also because he was telling us about his ring race and that he did so well at tournaments, because why wouldn't he? I think I'm sure that we prompted him on the topic of do you play at tournaments or whatever, maybe he asked us, but yeah, and I was, because bear in mind that at the time I only played Christopher and we only played for fun, we didn't play in any way competitively, and he said he took all these ring race on Fell Beast, and I was like, well, do you do well with that? How do you do well with so few models? But yeah, there you go, that was
4
interesting.
years later you met him again.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else at that Games Day. There was some really cool stuff there, but I've made a little bit of scenery there that I've still got, which was really cool.
You had this crazy idea that you'd play games at Games Day. Well, it doesn't even exist anymore, does it? Sad times.
Yes. So anyway, I hope that was semi-interesting. Second semi of the episode. Acton will have to count it. Segue. Well, Damian's enjoying himself. So anyway, that was a segue to Acton 39, who was has been a bit incredible. He has gone through, how many hours is it? Oh, I've not got it here.
47 hours.
48, 48, 49. A lot of hours of Palantir, as in every single minute of it, and done the Opta stats of the Palantir, which is fairly incredible. Now, we're not going to sit and read them all now, but don't worry, Acton. When it comes to episode 50 of the Palantir, we thought that would be a good time to go back and celebrate, reminisce.
We've talked over the last few weeks and months about what we might do for the 50th episode.
Yeah.
As some sort of celebration, and your wonderful stats seem to be the sort of thing we might talk about.
Yes. Now, the only rub on your part is that means that you have to continue doing it until episode 50. So please continue with the stats.
And then we'll feature it.
Oh, we will indeed.
As part of our 50th episode party, which will be in about 2 months.
Yeah. Dubacar, Jurassic Park.
Dubacar, Jurassic Park, Jurassic Park.
I want those to be in.
They count.
So yeah, I guess from now on, also you'd have to count the number of times we've mentioned Acton's work.
I'll start eating itself. But see, where are we? The end of September. So we can maybe around Christmas. We might be getting our exciting fifth. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Christmas.
And we also have a special sketch that we've said we'll do and we've never done, and hopefully that would be the 50th.
Oh God, yeah.
That was an idea maybe 9 months ago, 6 months ago maybe. I think we had the idea at Christmas. So.
Yeah, something like that.
We have a great idea for a sketch that just will take a long time to implement. Because it just involves us just sitting there doing nothing. No, it'll just take a lot of time to shoot, and we wanted to do that for a special episode. And given that we missed our anniversary, the 50th seems the appropriate one. So yeah, thank you for that, Acton. Final thing is David Whittaker, before we go on to the Legions book, David Whittaker asked us about unreleased miniatures, which are obviously...
the page?
Yes, they're showing up on the Facebook group.
Mm-hmm.
They've been doing some sculpts, custom sculpts, which look really cool, and he asked what our opinion was of them. In terms of, will they help prolong interest in the game? Do they have a place at tournaments? So, first off, the sculpts are really cool. So
have you got any?
I've not. But the guys there are obviously very talented.
They look great.
Mm-hmm.
They look very much straight out of the I don't know, aesthetic or films or books or whatever. Yeah. They look cool.
Or GW Creations.
Yeah.
So yeah, they look awesome. I guess that I don't know, one of the reasons I don't have them is that they are, just as with all the GW models, reasonably expensive.
Yeah, they're relatively expensive, but then I think that's to be expected from a small startup.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Their production runs are going to be relatively.
And because I've kind of not really thought about it, and then it's got to them saying they're available, and then they're all sold out. So that's another factor, to be honest.
I think for me, Dane's the most appealing.
Yeah.
But it's dependent on your armies, like because he was asking about there's a second wave, isn't there?
Yeah.
Which was Prowlers.
Oh, you mean from the actual second wave?
Yeah, which is Prowlers.
Yeah.
And which I'm not too fussed about. Reavers, which I'm not too fussed about.
I'm not fussed about the Reavers. The Prowlers would be cool.
I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying for me.
Yeah, you don't need them.
I don't need them. And then there's the Bismarck, which doesn't fit in with many armies. And so the things just haven't really, for me, they haven't particularly sparked that kind of interest. But the Dane's the closest I've got. But I haven't ordered him. I made it. But it's cool.
In terms of prolonging the interest, well, yeah, I mean, I guess it depends what happens with the license afterwards in terms of if anyone takes it on. But yeah, it's definitely a good thing to keep people excited about stuff.
Yeah, it's good if they're like they'll only prolong it if. In terms of prolonging the game, that doesn't mean playing in your bedroom, does it? It means playing at tournaments. They're only going to prolong the game if people allow them at tournaments. Yeah. I know James and Jamie said that they probably wouldn't at the moment. And so it's down to that. Some tournaments will,
I don't think many of them will have a problem with them at all because they look right.
Yeah. They look right, they're the right scale, they're the right aesthetic. It's someone making them for Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Which is different to proxying something
it's not,
else.
You know exactly what it is, so I don't think in that respect you'd have a problem with someone else rocking up with one. So yeah, I mean the issue for Dane is separate to them, what you use as a profile. But yeah, for the others, they all have profiles, that's the point in them. Yeah. And they're essentially,
Well, that's it.
someone's made a conversion.
They're unreleased miniatures. They're not new miniatures, not new profiles.
What it says on the tin. The only thing that I wouldn't do is call them random or whatever they call them. It just sounds a bit silly. Maybe that's a translation thing, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, generic or.
Or just Bismarck. Just Bismarck on horse.
Yeah.
I don't think adding random. You know, I don't think that in some way legitimises what. Don't worry, this is just random. I think just having it is random enough, personally. Yeah. Yeah. But,
random seems to be a very
misused word.
And also it's one that's, I guess it came in after I was at school. Like, school kids seem to use it as a...
Students use it all the time.
That's random.
Yeah. We went out last night, it was well random. No, it wasn't. It was, you probably planned it. You probably planned it quite a lot in advance.
It's quite a stochastic process, Damian.
Yeah, exactly. You rang each other up. You agreed a meeting place. You went out there. You met. You decided what club to go to. It's not random.
It's not statistical.
It's not statistical. So they do it all the time. Oh yeah, he's well random. What do you mean he's well random?
Yeah. Yeah, James, that was a dig at you. Not statistical is the worst phrase on the channel, I'm afraid. It means not pertaining to statistics, which of course it is pertaining to statistics, so please don't say it, thank you. And that's not probable. Thank you. You can get me back. I'm sure there's something that I say that's absolutely stupid. It's been on my chest for a long time. It's a channel catchphrase, that's not statistical. Must be. Must be.
Okay, well there we go, and that's why you shouldn't say random. So yeah.
Segue on to James.
So kids don't say random, James don't say not statistical.
Yeah.
Legions?
Yes.
So what we thought we'd talk about this week is this book. We're going to have Legions of Middle-earth, and we're going to flick through it because it's famous for, if anyone hasn't got this, it was the book of army lists. There was no profiles in there. In the old blue rule book, you got all the profiles in there. And then this was released after that, and it basically allowed you to form armies. So it gave you as an example page, it gave you the points values, but it didn't give you the profiles. So you couldn't, you couldn't use it on its own to make armies. You had to use it in combination with the book. But the idea was it grouped everyone into their various army lists and told them who they could and couldn't ally with.
Which is cool.
It was the first time you had army lists as well, which is amazing. For the first, this was published in 2006, and for the first 5 years of the games, there weren't any army lists. There were just points values and good and evil.
So you could just pick what you wanted.
Yeah.
I'm going to say now, I prefer this as an army list system to the current. You can ally anything with anything.
Do you?
That's my preference.
It makes things themier.
I prefer warbands.
Yeah.
But I would like it to still be. At least you constrained by some sort of thing. You'd still get things that are. You can still get things that shouldn't be together.
Yeah.
But, at least this does make it a bit better.
To give you some idea as well, where you now have what's the Rivendell? Is it a Region and Rivendell is one army list now in three peoples. That in this book was an army list for Rivendell, an army list for the Grey Havens, an army list for a Region. And so there's three separate army lists out there that had different things.
Yeah, and then you have Lothlorien and Mirkwood, and again that's multiple.
And what we thought we'd do is go through this because as a result of it, this is when the book was the game was at its height. Yep. There's loads and loads of profiles in here. Well, not profiles, but
names of profiles with points values
that were never released.
Yeah.
And we thought we'd look through and sort of talk about the ones that are missing. And maybe which
ones we'd have liked to have seen.
Some of them are easier.
As models.
Yeah, some of them are easier to deal with than others. So it's the first one, we might miss some.
Oh, is this the first?
Yeah. The Grey Havens had a Guardian of the Havens. Points value 13.
What do you reckon?
Probably
Guardian
some
of
sort
the
of Garglatham Court type thing.
Yeah, kind of like that. I reckon.
Some of them are going to be more exciting than others, but I think that's an elite high elf, and people have often cried out for elite high elves.
What would you do with an elite high elf? Make them fight 6, do you reckon?
Yeah, they'd probably get courage 6.
Or do you reckon they get a fate point or something?
They're a warrior.
They're a warrior.
Yeah, maybe fight and courage or something.
Yeah.
But who knows? It's perfectly possible GW didn't they? They're just waiting. Yep. There's a few more in the Region, which is an elf chariot, an elf knight, an elf ranger, and an elf war catapult.
The war catapult sounds awesome.
The war catapult can have high elf crewman, flaming ammunition, and siege veteran, superior construction, high elf engineer captain, rallying point, or enchanted ammunition.
You had a question similar to that, didn't you, for trivia?
For the Mummock.
Oh yeah, it's for the Mimic list. But yeah, there's also Hero.
Oh, Celebrimble. Yeah.
Who could take a horse. 140 points for Celebrimble, so you'd imagine he's very similar to Celeborn in stats.
And
probably with some magic, but could get a horse, crucially. And the Elf Ranger's at 11 points, so I imagine they're just a good version of a...
This is a high elf army, isn't it?
Yeah.
So this is still when you used to give armour to high elves. So it would be maybe increased sheep value.
Yeah.
Maybe something like that. Elf chariot.
Yeah,
might be
a bit
cool.
like Canned, but better.
Yeah. The elf knights are probably, they can have a lance, shield or bow.
They're pretty similar to the Rivendell Knights, to be honest.
20 points.
20 points, yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's the army.
Yeah.
There's your Rivendell army that people have been kind of crying out for.
It just never came, sadly.
But at some point there were hopes for that. You get your warriors with your army, your lightly armoured rangers, your knights, your chariots and catapults. Be pretty cool.
Yes, indeed. Moving on to Lothlorien. Anything new there?
There's a Galathram Pathwalker.
For 13 points. Sounds cool. I mean, there's no Sentinel there though, so that was probably the early thoughts of the Sentinel.
Yeah, a lot cheaper though.
Yeah.
And a Galathram siege catapult. What's a rallying point?
I don't know.
Maybe it's in the old rules.
Where's the blue rule book?
I don't know. We talk through the.
Yeah.
I don't think
enchanted ammunition as well was an option for the.
See, that sounds like an elfy magical sort of thing.
Yeah. Some of this sounds cool. I wonder who put this book together. Does it say, or is it multiple people? Matthew Ward. So Matt Ward probably had some ideas. And yeah, so it says conceptual. It's still Alessio, Jervis, and Rick Priestley at the time. Yeah. So yeah, maybe between the four of them, they had an idea. It'd be very interesting to hear.
There's no rallying point for this modifying siege engines.
Okay.
In the old book, so maybe it was some sort of
banner type effect.
Because
I reckon it must have been like a banner.
In those rules, the models, when they failed a courage test, would still back away 3 inches. They wouldn't be removed from the game. So maybe they could back away towards it or something.
The rallying point. Yeah.
That'd be quite cool.
Yeah.
That would be quite fun.
Yeah. So anyway, that's Lothlorien. Oh, and Galathram Knight, which wasn't released then, is there. So that did see the light of day. And it's cheap.
Bear in mind as well, this book includes loads of things that did get released after the book.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Cool. Thranduil's Halls, there's no update. Oh, there is a Sentinel there. Maybe that had already come out at the time. I'm forgetting what. I think that, that's definitely come out given the picture.
Given the picture, yeah.
So yeah, the Pathwalker must have been something different. Interesting. Then Fangorn, we have some. We're moving on to Fangorn. We have other Ent heroes other than Treebird. We have Quick Beam and Beachbone for 140 points. So they're, I guess, just dialed down versions of Treebird.
So 120?
Yeah, 120, so plus 20.
So
one might, one will, one fate, and a fight value.
Yeah, that
something like that. Or maybe just 2/1/1, and Ent with 2/1/1 like a captain.
Ent captain. That'd be good.
Ent captain would be awesome.
Smash.
Yeah, and Horns for 50 points, so I've no idea what they would have done for 50 points. Maybe some spells of some
sort. So it must have been more like Wood Elf Treekin, sort of smaller trees. So maybe some cheaper warriors, because what's 50 points getting you? It's not a... It's less than a cave troll. I'm just trying to think.
Yeah.
Like a couple of giant spiders.
Yeah, a couple of giant spiders.
So you might be in your kind of 3 attack, 3 wound, potentially kind of monster type thing.
Yeah.
Slightly less strong than Ent, maybe. Don't know.
Yeah.
Could have had horns. There was rules for. Weren't the rules for Quick Beam and Beach?
Yeah, they were in the White Dwarf.
Yeah.
And they also had They had different rules for Ents way back. I think they had to wake up and stuff as well. Yeah, you had different types of Ents in the White Dwarf, which was cool. So some had higher strength, some higher defense, whatever. So yeah, anyway, that would have been cool if we'd had more Ents. So moving on from the Woodland Realms, Rohan.
Why does that?
So who do we have in here? We still have the Rohan Outriders here. It says horse required, as in it comes with a horse.
Because they were heroes.
Yes.
because that was the huge loophole.
Yeah, but they hadn't come out
utterly
at this point,
abused.
had they? Or had the journey books come out at this point?
There
There
was
was 10 points with a 5-point horse.
the journey books came out after the Blue Rule Book, but the Fellowship one came out about a year before the Two Towers one.
Do you want to... So this came out in 2006.
I think that was the same as the Blue Rule Book and the Fellowship journey.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure Two Towers was 2007.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Army special rule for the Riders of Aeol is all models in an army selected from the Riders of Aeol must be mounted. Oh, that's why it says required there. It's not for the Outrider in general, it's for this specific, the Riders of Aeol list. Must be
Fellowship
mounted.
2005, that's before Legions.
Mm-hmm.
Two Towers 2006, and this came after that, I think. And Return of the King 2007.
Cool. The interesting thing is, for this Riders of Aeol, we have Aeol leading no Sons of Aeol, because Sons of Aeol aren't even in here.
Hmm. They were added in the Journey Book, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think.
So not there. We go on to the host of the Hammerhand, and we have an awesome hero who never came out. Helm Hammerhand, 100
cool.
points, and you could take a horse for 10. That would have been cool.
Very cool.
And then Helm's Guard, 10 points. I guess pretty
Strength
similar
4?
to Royal Guard. Yeah, probably strength 4, but maybe defense 5.
Yeah.
Or maybe. Oh, if they don't have bodyguard, then maybe defense 6.
Maybe elite infantry.
Yeah. So again, would have been cool. Then we have Theoden's host. I don't know if we have anything new.
What you might be noticing about this is what they did was the reason so many different armies is they split them timeline wise.
Yeah.
So that's what they were doing. Theoden's host was Rohan, as you know in the films, whereas Helms would have different.
Yeah. You can only take Helm and then King of Men, Captain of Rohan, and the Outriders as heroes.
So the idea was, and they would only be able to ally with armies that were alive. So in the oldie days, you wouldn't have Aragorn fighting alongside
Gilgalad.
Gilgalad, yeah, exactly.
Which is great, and that's the thing that I really liked about this book. So yeah, the Riders of Aeol, you could have Aeol the Young, King of Men, Captain of Rohan, Rohan Outrider, and then they can only ally with Thranduil's Halls and Minas Tirith. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
So that's Rohan. Gondor, we have the Tower of Ecthelion, which is the one with Aragorn, the Lesser or Boromir, Captain of the White Tower. But I don't think we have anything new here. Nope. So moving on. Minas Tirith, nothing new. Yeah, the Minas Tirith that it could ally with could only take a King of Men or a Captain of Minas Tirith. So that's all it could ally with.
Yeah, it's clever.
Very good. Fiefdoms, nothing new there. There were clansmen of Laemden or Lamadon, however you pronounce it. It was only 6 points. So those, I guess Fiefdoms hadn't come out at the time, but they had it
A lot
all
of the
planned.
Fiefdoms came out for the Return of the King journey, but
Yeah, but they had it all planned. Very good. Then we have the Army of the High King, which is the Numenor one, and fans of Numenor, I know there are some out there, there was no kind of addition even thought for them here.
they never had a chance.
They didn't care about Numenor. So it's just the normal Warrior of Numenor is the only warrior option, I'm afraid. Rangers of Ithilien, there's no changes. Dead of Dunharrow,
It's an army that's
no
done their own
changes.
just for the Army of the Dead.
Yeah, just the Army of the Dead. King of the Dead's the only
because
hero.
of the allying. It's the thing. Like
Yeah.
you had, they had to be a separate thing, so you could ally them with.
Yeah, they can ally with the Fellowship, the Grey Company, Theoden's Host, Tower of Ecthelion, Fiefdoms, Wanderers in the Wild, and Wizards. So basically anyone who was at Pelennor Fields,
Fields.
which is cool. There's only one hero, the King of the Dead, and that's still the same now. The shame now is that there isn't a captain model for them, profile.
Because in these days they didn't.
They
He
didn't.
could lead as many as he wanted.
Yeah. Yep. So moving on to the Dwarf Holds, we have Durin's Folk, which that's the name of the list now.
Mm-hmm.
Back then it was just a king and a captain; those were the only heroes. Khazad-dûm Dwarf Tunnel Fighting Team, 25 points. I think that's the
Vault
Wardens, which is cool. And then other than that, it looks the same.
Erebor.
Erebor.
Erebor had its own army list. That's cool.
But it's not Hobbit era Erebor. Well,
Is it
not
Dane?
quite. It's Dane era, so it's Dane, Balin, Gimli, and a captain are the options. But other than that, no changes. So nothing really in there. And then we have the Champions of Good, and again, this is kind of the Wanderers in the Wild and Wildmen. The Wildmen have their own list. Can they ally with Wood Elves? No! The Fellowship, Theoden's Host, the Tower Bethelion, and the Wizards. Again, the whole timeline from Return of the King. But there's nothing new in either of those lists. The Wizards have their own army list with just the 3 of them.
Any blue wizards?
No blue wizards. So they weren't planning that. And then we have the Eagles of the Misty Mountains as a list with Gwaihir, Landroval, and Menildor.
Land Rover?
Land Rover, yeah.
Gwaihir on Land Rover?
Yeah. Profile, please.
Knockdown.
So yeah, Land Rover and
terrain
Menildor were 100 points when a Great Eagle was 90. 10 points extra. What do you get for 10 points?
On an eagle?
A Might and a Fate.
Is it a hero?
Yeah.
Might and a Fate.
Yeah. Too well. So yeah.
So again, kind of like the more heroes.
Yeah, which is cool. And then, interestingly, we have Guardians of the Carrack. Good heroes are Grimbeorn, and good warriors are Beornings.
Grimbeorn's Beorn's son, right?
Mm.
And Beornings, how much are they?
65 points for Grimbeorn and 8 for
So
Beornings.
these are just men.
I think they're like Dunlendings style big men.
I went to see a musical of The Hobbit.
Okay. Where? When?
About 4 years ago, me and him went. I think it was on at Wimbledon. And
Okay.
they cut down the number of dwarfs in it. I think there was like 4, which makes a lot of sense on stage. But one scene, they go to Bjorn, and there's a big barn stomper musical number at Beorn's house with all his Beornings.
Yeah, and what did they look like?
Kind of Vikings or something.
Okay.
But there was a huge like kind of Miley Cyrus doing the hoedown throwdown with hobbits and the Hobbit and Beornings. And it was very, very surreal.
What profile would you give them?
Well, in that, it's similar to this. They were just men.
Yeah.
And there's talk of the Beornings, isn't there?
Mm-hmm.
Them just being men and not... But I don't think it's ever specified if they still have the power of Beorn.
Yeah.
But, I don't know if anyone else saw that production.
Mm. So yeah, that is interesting. Saruman still doesn't have the option for a horse, by the way, in the Wizards yet, on the good...
Because he doesn't ride a horse in the films.
Gandalf does, and Radagast does, because he likes animals. Cool. Alright, so then we move on to the evil armies. Starting with Moria. There's nothing new to start with in the Misty Mount in the Moria list.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's the Angmar list, and there's nothing new there. But that wasn't out at the time, was it? I have a feeling that Angmar, they have Burda in here. Maybe it was.
Not sure.
But they have no. The thing that
Burda
maybe
came out for the Fall of Arnor.
Yeah, I think the giveaway is there's no pictures of Burda, or there's just a cave troll and a art, some art of a Barrow White. So I imagine that they hadn't come out at that time. And then there's the Dwellers Below, which is a slightly separate Moria list. So it's the Moria list can't have any animals apart from cave troll and bat swarm, because they wouldn't go that far down. You can get wargs and giant spiders in this one, in the Dwellers Below.
So spiders and wargs live below bats and cave trolls, do they?
Above or below, whichever one. Above.
I didn't know the hierarchy of animals.
I didn't know that.
So it's like in a block of
Just
flats.
thinking, yeah. Then we're on to Isengard. Isengard Raiders. We have, this is the Scout Army. And would you know it, the Ferals are in there.
13 points.
13 points.
Wouldn't pay that for
They
it.
should be. And yeah, there's no difference.
So that's a separate army list for the hunters.
Yes.
They're having the scouts and the wild riders and the ferals.
But you could ally it with Legions of the White Hand, so you could technically get away with your list, yes. Then we have the Legions of the White Hand, which is all the armoured stuff and the Berserkers, and there's no new stuff again. Dunland. This is very much expanded.
Cool.
We have evil heroes, we have Royal Blood Chieftain of Dunland. I don't really know what Royal Blood means particularly. Dunlandings were out at this point, the models were out, because we've got pictures of them. But yeah, we have that, and then a Dunlanding Chieftain, so I guess that this guy's...
Dunlanding.
Dunlanding, oh. This guy's a named hero. And then we have Royal Blood HUZAAH as a warrior type for 9 points, which is kind of an elite Dunlanding, if there is such a thing. And then Dunland Berserker for 11 points, which I imagine is like a Reaver. You get 2 attacks.
Yeah. So big plans for Dunland.
Yeah, and Dunlanding Horseman. So, sorry Jamie Giblin and Ian Spiller and all
Obviously there were
the other
hopes to
people
do it.
who love Dunland.
There's long been rumours of the Rohan supplement, haven't there?
Yeah.
And maybe that's where that was planning on going.
Yeah.
Expanded Dunland.
Yep. But that sounded cool. Then we move on to Sharky's Rogues. So this is, you can't have Sharky and Worm leading Berserkers, Damian.
Well, you didn't need heroes, did you?
No.
You didn't need heroes, did you?
You need one hero for your leader.
But from each section?
Oh, do you...
I can't actually remember.
No, I can't. I thought you... Now you've asked a question.
Correct.
Pick your force. Choose. Select your leader. Select additional recruits. I don't think it doesn't say anything about having to.
I don't think you need it. I don't think you need it.
No, you don't.
That's why it was introduced for warbands.
Yeah. Some heroes may not lead armies. So they still had some who couldn't lead an army. Okay. Yeah. Just says whatever. Okay. Then in the Sharky's Rogues list there is Bill Fernie for 15 points.
Oh, that's cool.
Which is awesome.
He's got a might point or a fate. A fate, isn't he? He's just a ruffian with a fate.
Yeah. Which is cool.
That'd be very cool.
Other than that, there's nothing
I'd like to
expansive.
see that. That's cool.
Yeah. Then we go to the Bastions of the Dark Lord, which is all the Mordor stuff. We have Cirith Ungol, which doesn't seem to have anything new. The Black Gate, which doesn't seem to have anything new. Then we have Dol Guldur,
which has cool stuff.
Which has lots and lots of cool stuff. So I think the Fall of the Necromancer, I always forget the timeline, is out by now.
Yeah.
But we also have a Werewolf for 50 points and a Black-Hearted Tree for 50 points.
That's cool.
You imagine the Black-Hearted Tree is the same as the Horn rules, pretty much.
So like an evil ent.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Oh, no. Yeah, the Werewolf is 50 points. So profile for that.
It's a warrior again.
It's a warrior, yeah.
So I think there's nothing like it. You either get to dweller.
Like a Warg Chieftain, but worse.
Yeah. You have to make that jump from 25 points for 2 attacks, 2 wounds to 75, 80 points for 3 attacks, 3 wounds, and all the combinations there.
Yeah.
I think it probably have high strength, maybe 2 wounds, and re-rolling some sort of savagery or something. Yeah. That'd be cool. But werewolves, I'm not hugely fussed that they're not in it.
Yeah, I don't think they really fit the theme.
I think the Black-Hearted Tree would be cool.
Agreed. So yeah, that is that. Minas Morgul, nothing new. Barad-dûr, which is Sauron's army list, nothing new. Easterlings. So here we do have some things. We have an Easterling Siege Bow for 60 points, which
does what it says on tin.
Does what it says. And Dragon Guard, which I guess are now what the Black Dragon upgrade are.
Yeah, because they're 10 points, so infantry.
Yeah. Other than that, it's the same. Oh, Easterling King as well, which I guess is just like the Candish King, just slightly better. Then we have the Variogs of Khand. We have a named Candish hero, Kaisai Mew, Ravager of Ithilien, or how do you pronounce it?
I wonder if he's from the books.
No idea. But anyway, we have a Candish hero for 95 points. I guess it's probably okay. 95 points. Probably Defense 5 hero.
What's his name?
Keisiemu.
Keisiemu. Middle Earth role playing wiki. The Wrath of Kasami.
So he's been used in made up lore before by somebody.
He was the Varieg king who ravaged Ithilien and led the Varieg forces against Gondor.
There you go.
References the Lord of the Rings strategy battle game. That's interesting.
So they've got it from this.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, so probably is way made up. Have you got an A to Z of Tolkien?
Yeah.
Whilst you're looking through that. They then have Candish mercenaries, and they have a Candish mercenary chieftain. Now, back in the day, the Candish troops and I guess the mercenary chieftain worked in a different way. They may not turn up. They were cheaper than they should be, but they may not turn up at the start of the game was the rule that they had. So you bought them, and then they might, on the roll of a 1 or just a 1, or maybe a 1 or a 2. They
if he is in there, David Day did not think him worthy of inclusion.
Okay. Cool. Anyway, that's canned. Then we have the Serpent Horde, so we're into Harad now. Nothing new.
So many armour lists, aren't there?
Yeah, Harad.
So what was that? The Serpent Kings, then
The Serpent Horde,
then
that's
Harad.
Suladan's one. Then Harad, which is the Haradrim King's one.
Then Far
Then
Harad.
Far Harad, which is the Mahud King one. And I don't think that has anything extra. No, but it does have the half trolls at 11 points, so they weren't as good in their initial incarnation. Then we go on to the Corsair fleets, and again this has everything that you'd expect there. The only thing it has that's new is a Corsair ballista.
That makes sense, firing that from a ship.
Yeah.
Is that a little model one there? Is that what it is?
And there's a little, maybe on the side
On
of
the
the
ship?
ship. Yeah, maybe there was. You'd probably have to get the book to see it properly. Then we go on to Umbar, which is a separate list. So the Corsair fleets is Dalamir's list. Umbar one doesn't include Dalamir, but you can mix Corsairs and a Haradrim in that. Nothing new though. Then we're on to Champions of Evil, so the stuff that, I guess like the Wanderers in the Wild in the good list, we have Monsters of Middle-earth who can ally with lots of things. So we have the Balrog, Dragon, Cave Drake, Stone Giant, and Gulliver.
Stone Giant.
250 points for a Stone Giant, which is the same as a Dragon.
Oh.
What do you reckon for that? Like, hardly any might, but like strength 10 or...
It'd be like 6s or... Well, no, it'd be more than 6s, wouldn't it? It'd be 8s.
Yeah.
Profile of 8s and
something like
throw
Tree
stones.
Bird. Yeah,
throw a mountain.
Throw a mountain. Something like Tree Bird. That would have been cool to have a model.
Yeah.
And then we have the Ring Race. And there is no mention of the named ones other than Camullan and the Witch King.
Yeah, they were much later.
So yeah.
That's the lot.
That's the lot.
So, Tom,
And I'm going to look at your trivia question.
I think the answer's suddenly clear on this. You can add one of those now into the game.
Yeah.
That missed out. What would you add?
Why do you think you've got an answer?
Yeah. I had a couple that were debating it.
I reckon from them. Why are you going to say Bill Fernie?
I was. Genuinely, I was debating between the Huon/Black-Hearted trees, so smaller trees, and Bill Fernie. I thought Bill Fernie, that's cool.
That's a fun little one.
Yeah.
I think
but it all swayed
to
on the last page because the answer is Stone Giant.
Oh yeah.
Immediately, I was like, that would be amazing.
Yeah,
That would be cool.
Also like that Eregion, Celebrimbor and Expanded High Elves list. That would be cool.
So you want a High Elf army?
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't think need things like the Glathrim Pathwalker. You know, we've got enough wood.
Yeah. You want things that are different.
Yeah.
Different.
The Hero Ents Quick Beam. That would be cool to see if they had models for it.
But then that, to me, I don't know, that's just a different end, isn't it? It's another sculpt of an end, whereas, I don't know, it's the thing
the Stone Giant is completely different.
And the same with the Huons, they're smaller. So, yes, those were the things that never got made. Yeah. So, why don't you tell us there which you think you would like to see? Yeah. Maybe give us the top 3 of the things we've mentioned. Have a look through the book of the things you would like to see, the sculpts and the profiles for those things that aren't in it. And we'll collate them next week and let you know who the winner is, indeed.
And who the most popular one is.
Cool. And I think that's our lot.
That's our lot for this week. So we hope you've enjoyed that. Thanks as ever for all the comments. I think there's about 50 comments again this week. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was exactly 50.
So yeah, thank you very much for getting involved. Until next week, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support Jamie on Patreon, like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
Support your hobby.
And happy strategy battle gaming.
Bro.